Hi guys, and welcome to Angling For You, and you join me on the bank for a test at last. And it's a test that I've been asked for since people found out that I got this pole last year. Now, I bought this certain pole last year, and you've obviously seen it in the title, back end of October. So I've not really fished with it. I've had a couple of sessions the back end of October, which were really cold. November I think it was, and then I've fished once this year with it where I am currently, and had a good session. And I didn't want to get cameras out. I just wanted to, enjoy a little bit of fishing. So today we're gonna show you around the pole, talk about the package. We'll get on the box. Hopefully a little bit later on we can switch the camera on and we'll be having a few F1s. We'll see how we go. But mainly, I think it's some information that you guys want. So what I'm gonna do first is just show you the pole itself. Then we'll put it on the roller, we'll talk about the package, and we'll crack on. So the pole itself, as you can imagine by seeing the title, is a Match Winner 5. Now, there's a few in the range, and this is the top of the range in that specific range. Obviously, it's not as up there as your tournaments and your G90s and things like that. And I could have gone that way, but I didn't. I thought, you know what? I've heard a lot of good things about the Match Winner range. I potentially might get the margin pole at some point, so I'm going to go with this range, and I'm going to try it out. Now, I tried the 4 and I tried the 3. The 3. The difference at 13 metres, there are probably, if you tie them side by side, there's about 10 inches of sag difference, and a lot of the time that's what I'm going to be fishing. So even though it's a 16 metre pole, I don't always fish it. Sometimes I get a better pole or a longer pole with the option to be able to use 16, 14.5 metres, but more for a better 13 metres. And we'll talk about that when we get it on the box. But you can see absolutely beautiful satin finish, like a lot of the Daiwa poles. All the top kits are interchangeable, which is great as well. So you can get pretty much any kit stuck on there, which is absolutely superb. We'll jump on the box, we'll talk about the price, the package, and have a little look at it while it's sat on the rollers, and we'll go from there. Right guys, so we've got the pole line in front. We will do the standard close-up, as we always do. But kit-wise, now, I got this on a really good deal. It was about 1,400 quid, which is mega, because they're about 1,900 quid around there. You might get them a bit cheaper if you look around. Reason being is, that's what swayed me to go for the more expensive pole at the time, because the 3 is not far and the 4 are not far away from that price range. So I just thought, might as well go for the flagship in that situation. Now, the pole came with one match kit inside the pole and another match kit, a cupping zoom kit, and then it came with 3 4.8s and 2 5.2 mil ones, sort of top kits. Now, Interlastics they are. Now, what I've done is I've sold all my match kits. Personally, I just don't use them. You could take the 1 out, bush the 2 and get them drilled and wrapped, but they're not pre-drilled either. They're just the brilliant kits. I just wouldn't use them, so it's pointless for me. So I've got mine all as Interlastic. So I've obviously got the 3. I've got 5 kits basically. I've got 3 of the 4.8s and 2 of the 5.2s. The lovely kits, the Interlastic kits. But like I said, they're all interchangeable with the Daiwa, so if I want any short kits, one-piece kits, cloud kits, you name it, I can get them for the pole, so that's great. Same with the top 3s. It doesn't come with a short 3, which I know to a lot of people might be a little bit of, it should come with that being the flagship in that range, and it probably should. You're right, I do agree with that. Should come with a short 3. But it doesn't. I might purchase a short 3 at some point when we get into shallow fishing season. As you all know, that's great for shallow fishing, and equally sometimes use them when I'm fishing paste short as well, just for those quick bites. So that might be something that I purchase, might be not. Obviously it comes with an extension. The extension only goes into the 13, the 14 and a half and the 16. Again, I'd have liked at least another one to go into your normal black sections, in sort of 11.5 or even 11.5 reversible to go into the 8.5 metre for your short fishing. I'm surprised that doesn't do it. I tried the ones off the Aerity Pro and they don't fit what Dan's got, so it is a little annoying that, especially if you guys are getting one and you're doing a lot of match fishing, and those kind of things are quite an important thing. I don't know if they do those. They may do that, so don't quote me and say that you can't not buy them or they don't fit from another pole. They might do, so I don't have that information, but I'm sure with a bit of searching, guys, you can do that. It also comes with a zoom kit, which is your cupping kit, but it slides inside of it. Currently I need to super glue mine in because, like I said, I've not really fished and it's been cold, so I've not needed a cupping kit, so I've not actually glued in my top part of it, which is typical me. What I'll do now is I'll grab a top kit for you. You can have a little look at it, and there's no point in showing you the difference between 4.8 and 5.2 because it's tiny bits of a millimetre, so I'll just show you an Interlastic kit. I'll also show you the body of the zoom kit as well, and the mini section, and then we'll do a close-up walk down the pole and we can see what it looks like in regards to stiffness, and then we'll get on the box and hopefully we'll bag some fish, which will be first time on camera in over a year, so let's hope for fingers crossed on that one. Let's get into it, guys, and let's have a look at those kits. Right, guys, so I've got a few bits here. Like, it's quite difficult to show you them from this perspective, but what I'll do is when we're scanning the pole, I'll leave the kit down so we can scan the kit as well, and you'll get to see it in a little bit more close-up detail than looking at from a little bit of a distance. So we'll get the kit out. Like I said, Interlastic kits, pre-bushed, pre-wrapped, as you would expect. Now, the Interlastic kits of old, as you would remember if you're a Daiwa fiend, had 2 bushes, and you could go in either of those if you wanted less elastic or more elastic. This one just goes with the standard one, which is quite generic for most poles nowadays. It's not got a roller bush, but it's got a free-flowing bush. There's no friction on the elastic. It runs really smooth. 2-piece kit, but it's got a nose cone in there to centralise your elastics. If you don't have them, you can buy them from Pole Nose Bungs. Stuart Jolly will make those for you for any pole, and they are brilliant. And what that does basically, by centralising the elastic in the middle, it stops it dragging against the sides of the walls of the pole, so when you're playing a fish the elastic comes out smoother. When you're pulling back on the other side, it makes it smoother as well. Not essential, not that you absolutely need to do it, but it does make a difference, and you can feel that when you're stripping, and you can see that when the elastic's coming out. So again, you don't have to do that, but it is something that I recommend doing if you don't have them, and especially for how cheap it is. And you can get them in even different colours if you're as tight as me. This is the Zoom Cuppy kit, pretty generic with most of the Daiwa poles. So inside there's like a little bush system. It's sort of like a bit like that, so it stops you from pulling the section out. It is quite stiff, so you just have to give it a little waggle when you're pushing it in. It needs to be stiff obviously until it gets past that point, because if not it's just gonna slide in and out, and you don't want that. So the end is a screw. The screw bit is in, but I need to tape stick in the other part. Needs super gluing, so that's my bad. I just don't have time to do that. Moving on to extending, just a nice smooth pull and just make sure it locks off. And in regards to length, it is almost bang on. We're looking at about 2 inches or so, maybe 3 of overhang in regards to your Interlastic kit, so it's there or thereabouts when you are cupping in, which is obviously helpful. The little mini section, as you'd imagine, totally solid bit of kit, but like I said, it only goes in one way, and it only goes into those marked sections at the back, 13, 14 and a half and 16. Like I said, don't quote me, there may be ones that fit the other section, the black sections. I just haven't had a look, to be honest. So what we'll do now is we'll do the little close-up swizzle, so you get to have a little look at a pole, and then we'll get onto the box. We'll roll it out in front. You can see sort of the length, what that looks like, and we'll go from there. And really, fingers crossed, we'll catch some fish. I don't want to jinx it, but it's been a while, so let's get back to the close-ups and have a look in detail. Right guys, so as you can see, beautiful finish on the pole, nice slip finish, graphics really nice, almost old school graphics, just a lovely sort of looking pole. It's not in your face. And we'll just have a scan down the pole and then we'll come back and have a look at that top kits. So as you can see on the two rollers, lovely and straight. We'll walk down and we'll turn the angle round for you, but there's not much sag on the pole tip. As you can see, it is quite a stiff pole, bouncing away because I've just kicked side of the pole roller. I'll have a little walk back. You can see the 13.5 metre, sorry, the 14.5 metre and the 16 metre. The other thing is they're all the same, so there's no numbered section, they're all the same, they just go in the same. It's a good thing I've mentioned that actually, because yeah, if you're looking for a number on them, they ain't one. They all just fit in the universally fit in the same. So technically you could add as many as you want on the back of it if you wanted to. So Interlastic kit wise, like I said, pre-bushed, nice smooth action there, and then go down to the business end and you can see again pre-bushed, as you would expect for most poles nowadays. Let's get on the box and see what it looks like at length. Right guys, you join me on the box. I haven't said that for a while. We've not got the longest in front of me, so I'm going to try and do 13, then I'll try the 2 extensions and I'll see if I can go a bit left to try and do it and just give you a little bit of an idea. I'm not going to do it with the dolly on, so you can tell me off in comments if you want, but I've just got limited space guys, if I'm honest. And your dolly is just basically so you can give it a bit more welly. I'm just going to put my phone in here because I know that if I don't, I'll end up slipping out my pocket, and we don't want, that's an expensive mistake. So 13, like I said, meters, as you'd imagine, is a joy. I tell you what, it's bloody cold, as you would imagine, is a joy. Easy to fish, nearly virtually reaches island there at 13. Easy to strike, as you'd imagine. Is it the best at 13 meters? No, I've had better poles at 13 meters. There's not much bounce in it, to be honest. I would say with a short free it would be even stiffer, but you know, stiff, light, easy to fish at this range. You can fish this all day, no problem. And that's really what you need from a 30 metre pole. As you can see, that easy finish, glide finish, like most poles have nowadays. Easy to do, easy to ship back. Nice and simple. What I'm going to do is just clip off and clip on, and we'll get the next section on there and give that a waggle at 14.5. Also guys, I'll say now before we get there, in fact I'll take that section off, pole nose bungs, Stuart Jolly, if you want them on Facebook. Fantastic, never have a pole without them. Personal opinion, I just think they're great. Stop your pole sections from sinking if you drop them in water as fast, protects everything. It's a no-brainer for me. Completely up to you guys, but take that into consideration. The pole has got bungs in it. I personally don't think it affects the pole too much. Some people disagree. Make your own decisions. I've always had them and always will have them. I just find them to look after my poles, and Stuart's a great guy and they always sort it out for you. So now we're going to go to 14.5 metres, and again this is very easy to fish at 14.5 metres. I've held it at that, so there's slightly more bounce, and I think you would eradicate that with some of that with having a shorter kit on, or potentially like I say, a short 3, short 4, but like you could fish that all day at 14.5 metres, no problem. You know, once it's settled, the recovery is decent. You know, like I said, is it the best 14.5 metres I've ever fished? No. It's better than the Superium carp that I had, but again, the Superium carp is not a pole that you would particularly aim to be fishing long lengths necessarily, but I fished that at 16 metres, no problem. I would say it's better than that, but again, I don't use them very often. I'm normally at 13 metres. I just like the 2 sections just in case I have to go that little extra distance, but pay when you take your choice. I think it's pretty decent at 14.5 metres. Let's get the last section on. The section, the dreaded section that everybody wants to see, the 16 metres. Right guys, let's have a little look at 16 metres. I tell you what, till this sun gets out, it's bloody cold. So 16 metres, as you can see, there's definitely bounce and flop on the pole as a general. To be honest, once you've got it out there, and some guys will be stronger than me and taller than me, and fish pole at 16 metres more than me, and it'll be easier to get out. But once you're out, it is settled and it is easy to fish with, easy to strike with. You know what, I could fish that all day. Once I got myself settled, I could fish that all day. I just don't fish it very often, and it is, fishing's about obviously getting yourself comfy and in the best position for yourself, and you know, that's what fishing's all about. I'm just going to see if I'm at the right length for where I want to be. There, one more section off, and then we can put that on the roller close in over there. So hopefully that's give you a little bit of an idea of lengths. Like I said, not the best pole at 16 metres, but in the flagship range of that a match winner, it can do more than capable. I'm a small guy. I wouldn't say I'm the strongest person in the world. I'm not weak, obviously, but holding a longer pole is not as easy for me as a short person. So if you're a bigger guy, it's easy. It's so easy to hold it at that range. So I don't see any problems there. When it comes to the price range at 1900 quid, I think it's as good, if not better, than most at that range, to be honest. Some people will be saying G90 or second-hand G90 or second-hand tournament and things like that. If that's the way you want to go, that's no dramas, but I'm talking about people that maybe go vest into the first £2 pole or near £2 pole. They ain't got the money to do that in one, so they'll finance that through an Angling Direct or somebody like that. And they might not want to spend that as much money as that. I think this is a pole that would last you absolutely ages if you look after it. In regards to top kits, an infinity of different top kits that will interchange with other Daiwa poles. If you've got a lesser model of Daiwa pole, you could interchange it. So I think it's a really good option. So what we'll do is we'll turn camera off for a bit, and hopefully you join me when we're bagging a few fish on the bank. Right guys, now we're going to have a little bit of time on the water. I'm not fishing absolutely miles out, probably around 6 metres, 7 metres out. I know that's not going to give you the best sort of shot of what it's like at distance, but that's just where usually you catch the fish this time of year. as you're going to be watching my channel throughout the year, we'll be fishing it at various different lengths, and you will able to see. To be honest, once you've seen it held at different lengths, that's what you do most of the time when you're playing a fish. You're pulling it back and you're on your top kit, aren't you? So it's not end of world, I don't think, not seeing this fish at 13, 14 and 16. We're going for quite a simple approach. 015 main line, 013 bottom, 4x16s, Shanty Kyle style float, Preston Innovations one. We've got a 4mm pellet, B911 18, small micro band, and that's it really. We've got the tip of the float out because I'm aiming to catch F1s and potentially some, I think that's foul hooked, I think that caught that on way up, and some F1s and some skimmers, and that either took that on way down or that's foul hooked. I sort of struck then on a bite, and I feel like I caught some on way up, but whatever it is feels all right. Might be an F1, just like I said, fouled, but at least it gives you a show of the pole. Plenty of strength in there. Only got a light elastic today. It's a Drennan power pull. It's equivalent of sort of a 10-11 Preston style elastic. It's not end up world that well. At least it showed you what it's like under load. I genuinely feel there that were just hooked, foul hooked. So I don't feel too bad about that, because it dipped, I struck, there was nothing, and then it swum off. So I do feel that was as I've come up the columns, the water, something's been underneath it, and I've just nicked it. So was it? Doesn't feel big, this one. Might be a little F1. Right, nice little F1. And a little F1 there. Right in the bottom lip. Lovely little fish. Sitting back. Pellets perfect, so I'll keep that on. I'm just going to drop a few 4mm in the pot. Not soak them, they're just hard for, and they do sink well. If you find that they don't sink well, what I suggest is, I have a pot on there with holes in. Most pots nowadays have holes in. I suggest you just gently rest them in the water for a second or two, and then take them over to where your peg is and drop them in, and they'll sink straight away. Another fish. And a little on this one. A little left one, I think. Oh, it knocked itself in the net. Nice another little F1. guys, into another one. This one's just taking it on the drop as we were dropping the pellets in. Probably an F1. Oh, that's a nice F1. Yes, please. That's a better F1. Right in the lip as well. He's a chunky boy, that lad. Perfectly hooked inside the lip. Now I'll try and hold him up, but F1's notorious. They do not like being picked up. So, there we go, guys. Nice F1. Getting back in there. We just had Jackson sat on my box and he's just not caught up for about five minutes, and I told him we were going to catch one straight away, and before I'd even put my before I'd even put it in water, as soon as it dropped, took it on drop. There probably is some to be had shallow, to be honest, today. It's not red hot as it was yesterday, but you probably, if you're fishing half depth, which is about what that took it on, and I did foul hook, as you saw earlier on, one earlier on, so you probably could. I just don't think that it'd be consistent enough, and I think if you fed too consistent, because it's not, still not red hot, and they're not being back into, I think you'd feed them out, and you wouldn't catch as many. So the fish guys. Only a small one again. And we'll net this one and we'll give it a go down that edge. Not saying we'll catch anything, but we'll give it a go. A little F1. The little fish. Right, we'll change the angle and have a little look down the edge. Right, quite a simple rig for the edge. Now we've got a midi 16 yellow. Now it's quite a soft yellow. Elastic is lovely though. I've caught some tremendous fish on over years on that elastic. And then this is a 0.3 style float, nice and simple, 0.15 through to an 0.14 uplink, single corn and a size 14 hook. Pretty simple tactics there. We're just going to stick a few pellets in a little pot, and there's a little pipe to my left where we've just fed up. We saw a few fish moving earlier on. I don't think they were particularly big fish, but it gives you a chance to catch some more F1s. Whether they're bigger, who knows, but I definitely don't think that the carp. I haven't seen any sign of any big carp or anything like that. And we're into a fish that actually took my my elastic around then when it took it. It's a lovely F1, lovely fish, lovely fish. It's a lovely fish, is that? He's definitely a better stamp. See, this midi elastic is just fantastic. Powers up when you need it to power up. Plenty of stretch in it. He's an Interlastic, it's fantastic. It's like a lovely whacking grey F1. I'm not going to bully this, we're on a pleasure session. Let's let it plod around. We've got a really nice strong 14s matrix hook on. A lot of faith in that hook. He's ready for the net, here we go. Simple as that. It's a good fish, that. Not sure we were going to see one this decent today. He definitely wanted that. Like I said, he took that one and took the elastic out before we'd even managed to get hold of him. So we're definitely ready to go. It's a bloody good F1, is that? Look at that. He's even got a band on his head. Don't want that on there. There we go, boys. That's what we're wanting. Lovely F1. See if we can get me thumb in front of his fin. There we go. Look at that, lads. Back on the bank. He's back to it. Lovely, beautiful, fin perfect, golden F1. Now what's better than that? Let's see if we can get back out there and have another. Right guys, into another good one. That one, this one is a good one, I think. Saw that swim off down there. Another good F1, I think. Oh, lovely. Another lovely F1. That's actually it's bigger than the other one, I think. That's definitely bigger than the other. Jesus Christ. Soaking me. Alright, lad. Alright, lad. A couple of big ones down this edge. It's not going to like it, but we'll try and pick him up. Again, look at that. Absolute beauty of an F1 is that. Let's get him back, see if we can catch another. Just caught this absolute unit of an F1. I mean, look at that, boys. That is an absolute unit of an F1. I'll put him back in there. We're gonna get him back and yeah, see if we can carry on catching, because that's doing well down the edge. To another fish. Not particularly big fish, this one. There's another. It's another cruise on, eh? It is another crucian. Hopefully jubbly. I do love a good crucian. Another beautiful little crucian. What we're going to do now, guys, is just drop onto that middle line that we started on. There we go. Feels like a little F1, or potentially there's some nice skin bobs in here. An F1. Some nice little F1s in here. In fact, I had one in this first session of this year to nearly £5. They're massive. Oh, that's a gorgeous F1. That is. Oh, it's not, it's a crucian. Oh, baby, crucian. Love crucians. You don't catch them very often. Oh, what a dream. That's made my day, that. Now, boys, this is what fishing is about for me. Fish like this, you can catch all these big fish, but look at that. Absolute fin perfect crucian. Absolutely beautiful. What a lovely fish. So guys, hopefully I'll give you a little bit of information. We've seen a couple of fish in the net and seen a slightly bigger one under load, and hopefully we'll be fishing with this pole throughout the year and you'll get to see it again. But if there's any information you want, just drop us a comment as below as normal. But you know, sorry I haven't been on the old comments as much. Like I said, I've been taking a break. I'll try my best to get back and answer a few comments and get back on it, but hopefully it gives you a little bit of helping hand if you're looking at buying this pole. I would absolutely recommend it. This is obviously the reason why I picked it up, and if you can get a deal on it and get it slightly cheaper, even better. So thanks for watching, guys. As always, tight lines.